My name is Frank Keeman, you know, my real name. People call me Pablo Pencil. And I want to speak very quickly about, it's personal to me, but it affects everyone. And I want you to just, all of you to just consider for a minute how any of you in this room feel where your life threatened repeatedly and nothing was done about it. Because that's the situation I'm in. On the 13th of November and on the 22nd of December, my windows in my van were shot out. A week prior to that, I received threats against my life. The person who broke the window the second time was caught on videotape. Their automobile was identified. Nothing has been done to date. I spoke to an attorney just yesterday, the day before yesterday. I presented her with all of the facts as I had done with Chief Reyna, in which I have not received any kind of adequate explanation for why someone is allowed to do this with no explanation, no rational reason. When the first incident of my vandalism to my car, oh, I didn't even mention I've had my gas tank contaminated with sugar twice, which has destroyed my engine. I've been without a car for a month as a result of this. But I walk around every day in fear of my life. And in an evening, I'm afraid to walk from one end of this town to another by myself because I'm afraid I'm going to be mugged by this individual. I'd like you to just imagine how you would feel if this were going on in your life. And I've suffered serious financial problems as a result of this. But the question I want to raise is, on those 2 dates that my car was attacked, for instance, which is I consider an escalation of a threat, no other car in that area was tampered with. It wasn't like somebody went through and said, hey, let's just go break windows in cars. Only my vehicle was damaged. So I would assume that it's not just a happenstance thing. And I don't think sugar got in my gas tank just by accident. It's caused me an incredible amount of financial and emotional stress at this point. I have no answers. I recently received from this attorney the steps I have to take to the Police Advisory Commission and the city manager formally, and these are the steps I'm taking. As a result of my experience, other people have come up to me and shared their similar concerns of being threatened, intimidated, physically or otherwise, and having nothing done on their behalf. There's no action taken. And I wonder, like, what do I... And I said this to the officer, let's see, what's his name? The investigating officer was Renee Algara, is that the right name? And I said the same thing to the chief, that, like, what do I have to do? Could I get a business card when somebody clubs me in the street, leaves me a loving mess, before something is done? I've lived here 20 years. If staying in Bisbee means I have to put my life on the line, I'm going to stay. I'm not leaving. But I would just ask you again, like, how would you feel? Because public safety is where it's all about. To not feel safe walking these streets. I think it's a constitutional right. I think it's a civic right to feel free of fear from people. And I don't feel that I'm getting any kind of protection. I would also mention, as far as scheduling and we mentioned this times where there's way too many police and other times when there's none. And I've noticed, because I've been paying more attention to what's been going on with vandalism and so forth, there seems to be a window of time between 1 and 3 or 1 and 4 in the morning when all of this stuff is happening and there isn't a policeman to be found anywhere. And I would suggest, if it's possible, maybe a plainclothes policeman just patrolling randomly within that time frame. I guarantee you're going to catch somebody. I guarantee it. Okay. If we have the resources to do traffic enforcement, why don't we have the resources for public safety? Can't we use the same amount of energy for that purpose?
I'm a little concerned about Pablo's thing here and his personal safety. I don't think you guys are addressing that. I mean, I know that this is a situation that's been going on with him, and I'm surprised that doesn't take priority over insurance papers.
It is taking priority. Well, I'm not going to say who the individual is. If I say his name, everybody's going to go, because this is someone that has made a habit throughout the 25 years that I've been here. That name consistently comes up. Same situation. So for us, when he came and met with me, and I took the information, it's something that we want to follow carefully so that we can get it done right. This person's already come into the office with an attorney, so now we have to navigate the you're slandering my name, and so now I'm getting it from two sides. But we want to make sure, because there's no doubt in my mind when you hear that there is in fact something going on. But the individual involved has played the game for so long that, for all intents and purposes, he's become good at it.
Yeah, but what happens if somebody messed with me, and I got really pissed, and I decided, well, I'm going to take the law in my own hands because I feel threatened. Now what happens is, do you guys jump in and say, whoa, now we got a big deal here?
We would try
somebody got killed.
We would try to discourage you from doing that.
Well, yeah, but that's nice. That's nice
Yeah.
in theory, but
No, absolutely.
in the moment, you can't always do
Absolutely,
that.
but when we look at this stuff, we're not looking at theory here. We're looking at
But
we have
is that
the-
personal protection if somebody
No,
says...
I would never tell anybody they don't have the right to protect themselves,
Okay.
ever. But again, and I sympathize because not as a chief, but even as a young patrol officer, I could see that this is an issue. And this particular individual, it's one individual after another that he targets or seems to target. And I know other detectives have tried to do this, and I know the history, so I sense his frustration, and sometimes I get frustrated because the process takes the requirement on my end is so great that sometimes it gets frustrating. But we are trying to make sure all our stuff is in a row so that when we go and submit this, that we can get a prosecution or at least get it in there for them to look at. Because there
I'm
is
just concerned about the end game, because somebody one day is going to take this individual out, and then your problem is solved, but you've created another one.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And this is something that, like I said, I've seen over the years, and now I'm in a position where I can do something, but I want to do it right. I want to make sure, that because in my past I've seen the quickest way to empower someone is to not do it right and then for them to get off. And now they come out feeling like they're untouchable.
I agree with that, yeah.
So, and again, we're trying to do things with limited, we're trying to do the best we can, in all honesty.
So you have to catch them red-handed.
Well, not necessarily, but the evidence has to be, beyond a reasonable doubt.
But if you have video footage?
The video footage is, it's the back end of a vehicle. It's not a person.
The actual crime is on tape.
So can I explain you see the vehicle, you see the damage, and then there's a tail end of a vehicle that drives by. Now we can all say, and a reasonable person would say, yeah, but that the county attorney doesn't necessarily do that by that standard. So we have to make sure we have everything there, and in the process, there's other issues that came up with that individual that now we're having to deal with as well.